So I moved here in 2021 August. Myself, my family, and some friends all kind of have been in this area in one way, shape, or form or another for military training or for traveling through, whatever the case was. And every time that we happen to stop, either at a restaurant or even the gas station, in every way, shape, or form, we received like, I don't want to say subpar service, but it was very transactional type services. Like, what would you like? What can I get you? Very simple, short, direct. And there was no development of a conversation. There was nothing, and I always felt very different about that. Just coming from my background in sales and marketing. And when we first moved here, I jokingly said to my wife, I was like, "Hey, we're gonna buy this carnivore steakhouse, and we're gonna give like some significant customer service. Like, I knew that we could do just a little bit better, just kind of a little bit of incremental change over time." And I said it jokingly, and fast forward, 2, 3 years after that, and we ended up actually buying it. And our first focus was customer service, the customer experience, because if we can elevate the way people feel when they're coming together, it really changes the what they remember, right? I remember going out when I was young with my family, and we weren't in any way, shape, or form wealthy at all. So going out was a very big deal. It was like a once a quarter kind of thing, and we all got to eat something like that we didn't cook. But I remember that every time we went out, we had like a really good time, an experience, a laugh. Like, I remember those moments, and those moments were special. And I wanted to find a way to provide those same moments for everyone that came in here. Getting into carnivores was always about business. I've always had like a side hustle in some shape, way, or form. And the opportunity arose and I was able to take advantage of it. Once in it, I kind of learned more about the industry. It's like I've never been in this industry before, and I could see how far it could go. And so anything that I do it 100%, or I don't do it at all. I don't like half measures, and so I decided to double down and go all in. So that's kind of where I dove into carnivores.
Being in a big city for the last 20 years, not knowing what I would see in a smaller setting, knowing my skills, the knowledge that I've learned, uh, got to meet Eloy, within the year, seeing what his passion was, seeing his drive, seeing what he was about. It's kind of like me on a different setting, more in the culinary. I chose to take this journey to better the community by providing great service, great food, nurturing the community with what we're going to bring in at the meat market that we did, knowing that the sky's the limit, that being in a small town, they still have big city needs, but able to provide that and holding us to that standard.
Yeah, I think that's like a yin and yang balance, right? So we survive, we pay our bills from the community, and we can provide some really good meals, events, caterings, things like that. And that's kind of part of our way of giving back. I'm a big supporter of like finding ways that actually give back in a way that I can see the almost immediate result. For example, like I have a wall in the restaurant where even community members can buy a meal, buy a cocktail, buy something for any first responder, any military, or anybody who is in need, and they post it up. No questions asked. Somebody can come in, take one off. They use that receipt as payment, and they can move forward, right? So, just little ways of giving back where I can see change almost on an immediate level. We've been able to help a lot of struggling families that, come in and, they're just asking if they could work for food in some way, shape, or form. We don't let them. Our crew takes care of them with the uh, same customer service, same feeling, so to speak, as if they belong here in every shape and way. And we don't have to worry about that. Like, we just give them the meal, and hey, someone's already paid for it. Don't worry about it, kind of thing.
So going back to what Eloy said is, what we're doing here in this community. This is, the first one. I don't see why not We can do this at 10 different areas where there's military, small towns, taking care of our troops, feeding them, giving them a product, taking care of their families at a reasonable price where they can get good quality proteins that we are able to do, give them a great vibe in the setting of a steakhouse at a reasonable cost. So when they come to visit their sons, their daughters, whatever family members, they're able to come here, enjoy a good time, have a great selection on cocktails, have a great variety on food that they are, and knowing that we're sourcing it out local, organic, and back to nurturing. Just making sure that what we're putting in them is good product. And I feel like with that, we're actually really into what we are sourcing out and how we're able to provide it on a plate.
I wanted to add to that. Eloy and I, being military, have been to a lot of locations, and something that is unique to military installations is there's always two parallel communities that don't intersect. And something that Eloy and I have done and Tony has stepped into is this idea of community. And I think that that is what we're looking for anywhere we go, is to be able to bridge that gap and bring the whole together, because there's a void out there around military communities to bridge that, and that's what we like to do.
So when I took over the restaurant, we had about 40% of locals dining with us every week. 40%, 60% was transient, kind of one time or coming in from school and then leaving here and never seeing us again. Currently, that has flipped to a 62% of local community that come back over months, and the 40% of transient military schools. So I think we've been able to accomplish that bridge here in St. Robert. And you asked the question 5 years out, what does that look like? I want to be the brand that's family friendly, creates an amazing dining experience through customer service and amazing food that is affordable on the military budget, so that you don't have to go to big city and spend thousands of dollars for a meal. Like, you can come to Carnivores, wherever that city is next to your military post or base, and enjoy an amazing meal without having to break the bank or only be able to afford it once a year.
Seeing a smile on somebody's face, knowing that I did that, knowing I'd spent 12 hours prior to creating that dish, or taking an order at the meat market that needs to be done, or somebody calling within 2 to 4 hours that needs something processed, and we're able to provide that. We're helping somebody. We're putting a smile on their face. Not a lot of people get that from me, but putting a smile on the face of somebody that's less fortunate, and we're able to be in a reasonable price range for them and giving them the same quality as if somebody was, in a different level, like where I'm from, in a big city, paying triple, quadruple. And as well here in the restaurant, the dining experience, seeing Eloy and Yvonne going to the tables, touching them, making sure everybody's good, everybody's happy. Especially here and around military bases, I can provide for my kids, as well as putting a smile on somebody's face. I think that's all I need. That's all I need to be driven. I don't need the Red Bull, the coffee, none of that.
I need the Red Bull and the coffee. So I take all the Red Bull and coffee that these two forego, regardless of my motivation level. But I don't know, there's a few touch points that really resonate with me, like let me know that we're doing something important. When we get to watch families have a mini family reunion in here for their son, daughter, nephew, grandchild's basic training graduation, I think that's one of my favorite moments, to see that community and see it come together. And then in other moments, when we get to support local teams or we get to sponsor local events, it's a foot in both worlds. And so bridging those worlds, seeing people come together. I love to link people together that are sitting kind of solo by themselves, get people chatting, and then bring the community together. Something that is notably absent but also gets overlooked a lot is we don't have any screens. We don't have any TVs. We believe in conversation and bringing people together. And so we've gotten asked, can you put TV in? Will you start playing football games? Will you play? And the answer is always no. We'll take the hit on Super Bowl Sunday because we're trying to build community, and community isn't zoning out on the screen. So I know I've made it. I know that we've made it when I see our regulars coming in and I see them chatting with one another and I see them bringing their friends in and I see them supporting, because we have made that touch point.
Kind of took my thunder there. But definitely we don't have screens in here for a reason. Without screens, there's lack of distraction, which provides the ability for deep conversations and communications. And even though our space is small, like, we definitely feel like you are part of the whole conversation with everybody at many times, and it's not because it's loud, it's just because everyone's having the same kind of vibe and environment. And unlike a lot of other restaurants in town, like, we stick to it. Like, there is a very specific point where we made a decision not to do that. But just to kind of follow up with the pinnacle point, I think we're all aligned in the fact that we provide the ability to celebrate moments in either military careers, families reuniting, or just a birthday, a simple birthday.